college football is doomed. Okay, maybe not. But honestly, it feels weird. It's not the same thing anymore. You know, when NIL was first being discussed, it was like, well, of course. It makes sense. It's their name. I mean, why shouldn't they be able to make YouTube channels or be able to put their name on the back of their jersey and then get money from it? Like the whole thing with Johnny Manziel. He was like signing footballs, I'm pretty sure, and he sold the signatures on the autographs and got in trouble with that. Like, I get it. Like, it's kind of scummy to sell your autograph, but it's his right because it's his name. So why can't he sell his name on the football? It doesn't make any sense. So NIL, I'm like, of course, let these dudes make money. Well, fast forward to, the year 2026, and man, it is not what I thought it was going to be. I mean, probably you could have thought this, but it's rough. It is out of control. I mean, it is one of the wildest, unregulated times, I think, in any sports history, like if anything. Like, we went from a guy getting like come sign with us. Hey, the local car dealership is going to give you $1,000 to do a commercial, Now, it's a billionaire who is like, you know what? I really want that player. Here's $10 million. For anything? No, just want to play football. That's it. Oh, okay. The one thing I don't like about it the most is you just don't feel like players want to be at schools anymore because it's the school. It doesn't feel like they have that pride anymore. It's just because you got handed a lot of money. And I get it. Like, go get the money, man. You're 18 years old. It's so hard to turn down that much money at 18 years old. It would be stupid. People tell younger people that they are making dumb decisions every single day by buying a coffee at Starbucks. So you're going to tell a kid that he's dumb for taking 10 mil to go play football for a few years? Or, I'm not saying everybody's getting 10 mil, but, however much money he's getting paid, you're telling him to not do that? Like, that's a dumb financial decision, right? Why wouldn't he take that money? And look, I'm not debating that schools were paying kids before this whole thing. I know that was a thing. Everyone knows it was a thing. Under the table, money being handed out. I know some people. Yeah, they weren't like big recruits, but I know some stories. It was a part of the game always. But now it's just more out there, and people are able to just go crazy with it. You used to kind of have to hide it. At least you're like, hey, here's a Dodge Charger, come sign to our school. Now it's, we're going to give them this much money. We're going to give them this much money. We're signing new contracts, all this stuff. It's like, whoa, man, what is it, the NFL? A lot of people used to say that the NFL was just not as good as college football because the NFL had too much to do with money. Players wanted too much money. It was all about money. Well, look, college football is the same thing now. It is just the exact same thing, but way more unregulated. Because the NFL is actually like a job where they have like actual like stipulations for everything. College football is just the Wild West. There is nothing going. No one even knows what's going on. But yeah, it just sucks, man. Like, think of kids going to a school being like, man, I want to play for this school. I've been wanting to play for this school for my entire life. This is why I'm going there. Not anymore. They had a guy from Florida State transferred to LSU, and he was like, yeah, I really don't want to go, but I'm not going to turn down the money. If you don't want to be here, then you don't have to be here, man. It don't feel like you want to actually play for the school. You're just taking the paycheck and you're playing. Which, yeah, that's the NFL, and that's what people had a problem with of the NFL. But it's not college ball. Football is not even the only people getting hit with this. It's every sport. It's every single sport that's getting hit. I mean, basketball has its own problem right now. There's all these players who are going in the NBA, and then they're like, yeah, you know what? I mean, yeah, not all of them have played in the NBA except for the newest guy. I can't remember his name. He's played like 10 games, and now he's trying to come back to college. But yeah, the guy, like Charles Bediako, I can't even remember. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The dude's going back to Alabama after he already was like playing in G League. He already left, and now he's coming back. So basketball has its own problem right now. It's just a whole different thing. But it's all to do with because they can make more money in college than they can professionally. And also, the NCAA isn't doing anything about it because they can't. I mean, they're trying. I'm not saying they can't. There's definitely something they could probably come up with eventually. But there's lawsuits being tossed out everywhere, just like all over the place. There's lawsuits because they're trying to somehow figure this out. And look, I'm going to reiterate, I am all for these kids getting paid. I am all for it. They work their asses off playing these sports. It is a full-time job. I've seen people say, well, they're already getting a full ride scholarship and man, that's already payment enough. They don't need to get paid anymore. Or, they should all get college jobs. I had a job when I was in college. I had 2 jobs and I delivered pizza and I did this and I also, did school. Yeah, dude, cool. That's awesome, man. You know, you could pay off college back in the day. You could pay off a college tuition working at a grocery store as a bagger. It ain't the same anymore because they're also making so much money for these schools. They should be getting paid something from it. Also, look, the whole thing about kids going to class, you know, being in sports, yeah, I know there's a lot of shady stuff going on with that because most of them probably don't go to class. Most of them have people do shit for them, take tests for them, somehow get good grades. I get that. But they are expected to do that. They're expected to go to class. You know, that's what the universities say. They are student athletes. They need to go to class, get good grades so they can play their sport. Cool. That is a lot of work. Being a college student is very hard. It is. There's a lot of time you have to dedicate to studying and taking class to get those good grades. So if you're worried about them being a student athlete first, that has to be a top priority. But they also have to practice. Practicing takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of your day. They do 2-a-days all the time. They're doing it in the morning, in the afternoon, while putting class in between. That is a lot of work. How can you even have a job in that time? It is very hard. Yeah, maybe you could DoorDash a little bit at the end of the day, but they got to get rest too. They're tired. They were working their ass off. And if these dudes are trying to make it to the pros, they're trying to work even more after practice. So yeah, I think players should 100% get paid. I just think that we need to find a happy medium in between what it is right now and what it used to be. I mean, look what just happened with Clemson and their whole thing with that player Luke Farrelly. It was a mess. It's still a mess. I mean, it's like, I'm not saying there isn't anything going on in the the background that we don't know about, but it's a mess. And it's not something that's just an isolated incident, and it's going to keep going until we do something about it. Not me personally, but until someone does something. He already enrolled. He moved in. He was attending classes. He was a Clemson student. He was literally part of Clemson, like transferred there. And then he was like, man, you know what? Oh, Ole Miss wants to pay me more? See ya. What? That's insane. You already transferred, and you get to just be like, oh, actually, wait, never mind. I want to go back. I want to go to this other school. Sorry. I tricked you. I mean, the dude repeatedly told Clemson, according to Dabo Swinney, that he had no intention to leave. Multiple times. And then was like, actually, yeah, I'm leaving. And you should go watch that Dabo Swinney press conference if you hadn't seen it. That man goes crazy. He just outs everything. He goes off. It's really fun. You should watch it. And I'm not a Dabo Swinney fan, but I respect the hell out of him for doing that. You know, but then Luke Farrelly ended up leaving. He went to Ole Miss, and now Ole Miss and Pete Golding, they look pretty shitty for this whole thing. And I'm not saying they're the only ones doing it. There is a lot of this type of thing going on. It just so happens that this is one of the biggest things that happened this season, and that Dabo Swinney just actually called him out for it. And why do all these players that have no reason to leave? You know, they're one of the best players on the team. This team's actually good. Why do they leave? They have it made. Tampering. That's why they leave. You cannot talk to a player on another team if you're from another school before they enter the transfer portal. I'm pretty sure that's the rules. So how do these dudes, they go, maybe I should leave. So why are you leaving? Oh, no reason. Only that I got a call from a head coach from the other school that said, hey man, I'm gonna give you $1 million more if you come to my school and you don't stay where you are already. I mean, the agent just is going around and they're just like, oh, you wanna give my guy $2 million more to go? Yeah, okay. We'll work something out. And just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean that we should just accept this now. Like, it's not one of those things where it's like, well, they're all doing it, so who cares? No, man, this sucks. This sucks. I feel like a lot of people probably share the same sentiment as me that this sucks. And this is not college football. This is not what we want to watch. And everyone's saying, oh, man, these players, they're being held hostage by a school. You know, they want to leave. The school just holding them hostage. It's like, okay, but you signed the contract. And I know there's a whole debate about, well, coaches sign contracts and leaves all the time. Yeah, it's fucked up too. I'm not saying it's not. That's fucked up. Doesn't mean this one's not fucked up. I mean, they also say the contract thing about being held hostage in the pros too. And I'm like, man, you're making a lot of money to be held hostage. You're not being held hostage. You just don't want to fulfill your contract now. And look, I think players should 100% look out for their best interests. And they're doing that by trying to get out of these deals. But man, if you sign a contract, you got to fulfill it. I don't know. Maybe it's like an old school thinking for me, but it's like you put your name to something, you do it. And look at the whole thing with Demond Williams in Washington this offseason. That was a mess, man. The dude already signed back to Washington. And then he goes, no, I don't actually want to be here anymore. I want to transfer. Washington said, fuck you. You're not leaving. You already signed back here. But he's like, no, I don't care. I want to go. And that's just a messed up situation. Because now you're looking at it as Washington doesn't want to lose one of their best players. Demond Williams doesn't want to be there. It sucks for both sides now because then he ends up, probably not wanting to face a lawsuit. So he pulls his name back out and says, hey, Washington, I'm staying. Now you're sitting there. You already have Washington fans losing their mind about him leaving, rightfully so, do not get me wrong. I agree with the fans for being pissed that he's leaving because, dude, why? You're our guy. We backed you up this whole year, and now you're going to take off on us. So then all the Washington fans are talking shit about the man, and then he ends up coming back. And now that's awkward. You're sitting there like, hey, Damon, yeah, we really like you, man. You're a really good quarterback. Yeah, no hard feelings. What? I didn't say anything. I didn't call you undersized and say you were ass and you actually were really shit. No, not me. And look, I'm joking, but it does suck because like now, what are fans gonna do? Like they have to take him because you can't just sit there and shit on your guy. I mean, you want Washington to be good next year, so if he's gonna be your quarterback, you have to back him. And now Damon has to come with his tail between his legs, being like, "Hi, I'm back. Yeah, I wasn't leaving. What do you know? I wanted to be here the whole time." The whole situation just sucks because you have a player who does not want to be there, and then you have a school and their fans who feels like he's not really committed to him. If you're Washington, you probably don't even want him anymore, but he's your best option, and also you just want to prove a point that you're not going to get walked over. And for Damon, you just got to pretend like nothing happened and be like, damn, I'm fucked. I'm in a bad situation. Was it his agent? Who knows? Was it his own doing? I don't know. The kid was trying to look out for himself, and I respect that, but man, it's just, you did it wrong. You did it the wrong way. You know, last thing too is Darian Mensah's situation with Duke. Don't get me wrong, Darian Mensah didn't like transfer to Duke and then leave, but he did the kind of the same thing as Damon Williams was trying to do. Like he's with Duke, he does a great year, leads them to the ACC championship. It was great. Everybody at Duke's like, "Yay, Darian, woo, yay!" And then a day before the transfer portal, he goes, "I'm leaving. I'm going to Miami." And everybody's like, "What? You mean you leaving us and you didn't even give us time to find a new quarterback because they all already signed everywhere else? Oh, fuck you." And he's like, well, I don't care. And then Duke's like, no, you're not going. You're not leaving. We already, you signed this contract. And yeah, the contract says like, we can't hold you at the school, but we can tell you that you can't play at another school or whatever, however that was worded. I mean, that was a whole lawsuit with Duke and yeah, they eventually settled on it. I mean, now he's going to Miami. Duke and him settled into court. I mean, out of court, I'm guessing. But man, and he's bringing along one of his receivers. His top targets come with him. I don't even know how to say his name, but Cooper Barkett. They're both going to Miami. Duke just lost both of them, and that sucks. It sucks for Duke. Good for them. Sounds like he got a really good deal with Miami. Miami was like, "We got to get you down here, no matter what. We will give you the craziest shit. You got to come be a part of the U." But I don't know. This whole thing just feels weird. It doesn't feel like college football anymore. It kind of sucks. Like as a fan, you're just kind of sitting here and you're like, it just feels icky. It doesn't feel good. It just feels like these players are just, they don't care. They care, but they don't care. They care about the money. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of players who still feel the same way that I do, and they want to go play for a school because that's the school they want. They're dedicated to that school, and it does not matter how much money they get paid. They want to go to that school, and I love that, and it's awesome. I also do not blame a guy for going to a school who's giving him a ton of money, like I've said before. It is stupid for a kid who's 18 years old, has no clue if he's actually going to make it to the NFL. It is dumb. He could have a injury that could end his career in the first year of college. It is dumb for him to not take the amount of money that some of these people are throwing at him. It's dumb. And you can't sit there and shit on the guy for taking this kind of money. Bryce Underwood, I'm an LSU fan. Bryce Underwood, when he decommitted from LSU and went to Michigan, it hurt my soul. It hurt my soul because he seemed so ready to go to LSU. But I cannot blame the guy for turning down what he got. That was such a great deal for him. I mean, come on. You can't shit on him. There's a lot of people who do, but you can't shit on the guy for doing that. I mean, it's just too good to be true for him. But I don't know. Maybe there's people out there that really like how it is and like how it's going. I don't know. Y'all let me know. What do you think? What do you think about the whole situation? Do y'all agree with it? Do you think that we should just take away NIL, go back to the way it was? Should we find a happy medium and do the thing where, you do a commercial, you do something for me and then you will get paid? Because that's what I feel like that doesn't happen. Like you need to be doing something to get paid other than if the school can't pay the players themselves and they have to be advertising and using their name, their image, their likeness, NIL, they have to be doing something with that to be getting paid other than just being handed over a check for nothing. That doesn't feel right to me because these checks need to at least have a limit or I don't know, some kind of regulation to them and not just be unlimited money. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments. Just what do you think? Do you think we need to change it? I don't know. I personally do. But hey, that's just me, okay? I just want college football to kind of be back to what it used to be. But don't get me wrong, I'm not a person who's afraid of change. I just don't like where it is right now. But that's all. Look, I just wanted to rant a little bit. Thank you for listening. Hey, if you don't mind subscribing, dropping a like, I would appreciate it, okay? But other than that, y'all just have a great day, all right? Goodbye.